So, it's Gabby from Tigrinlish back for the third verb repair workshop. Today we're working on the same verb, but it has a different meaning in English. So this verb muh-huh-law is used for to be present somewhere, physically somewhere, and to have, but it's conjugated slightly differently. We've already talked a bit about how infinitives work, so we're not going to talk about that too much today. But the meh in front of the verb is showing us what is the infinitive or the verb that has been untouched. Nothing has been conjugated. Nothing has been done to. Let's get into the singular of this. If you were here for the last workshop, this is going to look very, very, very familiar. So we're looking again at to have. I have, ane, ayenay. You, masculine and feminine, have. Nisha, aleka. Nishi, aleki. Actually a K sound this time. That's why you have to make sure it doesn't sound like a K when you do to be present somewhere. And third person, he, she, it has. Nisu, alewo, nisa, alewa. Sounds very, very similar to be present somewhere. So don't get confused. Just go ahead and read them again one more time so you can think about how it should sound. And again, we have the Tigrinya letters written out there for those who are working on your reading and writing. Ane, aleni. Nisha, aleka. Nishi, aleki. Nisu, alewo. Nisa, alewa. Because it's the same verb, but different conjugation, many people get confused, which is normal. To be present or to have, both in the present tense, are you using muh-huh-law. Ane aleni, with that ni, which for you more advanced people, that is the possessive object suffix. That's for to have. It technically changes based on what you have, if it's one masculine or feminine thing, or plural masculine or feminine thing. You have 6 options, but ain't nobody got time for that. So we're not worrying about that. If you're saying ana alejo, we talked about that last time, that's physically somewhere. For example, absarah alejo, I'm at work, physically at work. All right, told you this was going to be pretty rapid fire, so we're already in the question section. The main question that we have with this is, how do you know which one is which? And what are some keys to know which one to use? And we'll talk about some actual question words to give you a clue of which one is coming up next. Because in some dialects, these words can sound almost the same. And the we are present somewhere and we have something are the same. Alena, they're exactly the same. So knowing which question words mean which verb is very helpful. So we're on to the plurals. Again, first, second, and third person. First person, we have nahna alena. Again, this is the one that is the same as to be present somewhere. So pay attention to the question words that we're going to go over next about how to know which one you're looking at. Then we have second person, which again is split into masculine and feminine. Y'all have nishatkum alahum, nishatkin alakan. Last but not least, third person, they, masculine and feminine, have nisatwom, alewom, nisaten, alewen. And I'll read them again before we move on. Nihna alena. Nisahatkum alechum. Oh, not the alechum. That's a different meaning. Let's say that again. Nisahatkum alekum. You got to slow down on these, otherwise you're saying something else. Nisahatkan alekan. Nisatom alewom. Nisaten alewen. And sadly, many books skip the feminine plurals, but you need to know them because we like our women groups too. As we talked about last time, even if it's one little baby boy, you have to use the masculine plural. It is what it is. Moving on to the question clues. So let's spend a little bit of time on this because it's very important. If we're talking about the common questions, there's about 8 question words that are used most commonly in Tigrinya. Based on which one you hear, as we said, in some dialects, these words can sound almost exactly the same, and alena is the same. We have versus we are physically present somewhere. Knowing which question word comes up is important. So if you're talking about having something, the words that will usually come up, and it's usually talking about shopping, or possessing something. Kendey, how many? So how many do you have? Or how many do we have? Entay, what? What do you have? Ayenay, which one do you have? Naimen, whose do you have? Or maybe we're talking about, again, ayenay, but maybe being more specific about a brand. On the other side, where we're talking about being physically present or how you're feeling, everybody knows kemey aleha. How you doing? Abe aleha. If it's in a song, you might get a little bit nostalgic. If somebody's calling you asking where you are, you're in trouble. Silamentay aleha. Also in trouble, because that means, why are you here? Very much in trouble. Let's say these question words again one more time. Kendey, entay, ayenay, naimen, kemey, abe, men, silimentai. Trying to think of a good example for men right now. Honestly, I think that should probably go to the other side. To the, like, who do you have? I would probably put that on the other side. So I might change that in the upcoming slides, but that's okay. So you have a basis to go through, and we are moving along back to questions. Let's see if there's any in the actual chat. They'll see Saeed with us here. Thank you for being there, Saeed. So again, we talked about why is there thumbs up and kind of like a smirk, like, okay, because questions are an important part of learning, but unfortunately, in patriarchal cultures or cultures where perfection is valued, questions are quote unquote stupid. So you want to find people who are supportive of your questions. You can't just ask anybody a question. We gave the examples last time of an older relative or a friend who's willing to correct you, but also gives you props when you get something right. Not just about correction. You also need to get some encouragement when you're doing well. Or you have someone of your own age that may speak a little bit better than you. They're either a learner like me, because I'm not Habesha. I've been learning Tigrinlish since 2014. Or maybe you have a cousin or brother or sister who speaks the language more than you do, because they're the oldest. Usually the first child speaks better than the others because they're the basically translator for the parents. Or maybe that cousin actually lives back in Ethiopia or Eritrea and they speak the language daily. If they're willing to help you and they're supportive and kind about corrections and feedback, why not? So let's talk about study tips. What can we do now to make this a little bit easier? We already made it easier because we took the grammar book out of the equation. So I am going to stop sharing this so you can see my face as I'm talking more about this, because I feel like this is important. Hold on. So we already made this a little bit easier because we're not worried about this grammar book. If we're talking about I have professionally, linguistically, we don't just have the options that we just looked at just now. We have all of these options. Like I said, to have is changed based on the thing that you actually have, whether it's masculine, feminine, singular, plural. Too many options would blow your mind. It's nice to know those if you're reading, so you're not completely confused. But if you're just trying to get to conversational, don't worry about that right now. That's the first thing you can do. The second thing that you can do is we're going to have a Quizlet deck, a flashcard deck that you can use for practicing this verb, where you can purchase that flashcard deck and also the other decks for the verb repair workshops that we've done so far. So we have the option to purchase one or the whole actual workshop series of 10. That's another option. In September, we're also going to be opening up our one-on-one classes so you can have more private, personalized instruction with me if you want. Or you can also join our book club that's going to be starting in October. We're going to be starting with some reading, basic simplified reading in Tigrinlish from my book, Love Served with Injera. This one right here. And we'll be doing that a little bit. But to mix things up, we're going to also do it from the more advanced version of that book as we go along. But I'll give you 2 weeks in between for that. So this is the more advanced version. And as you can see, the actual Tigrinya writing is a bit more in-depth. That's a shorter one because it's a dialogue. You see. It's a bit more in-depth here, some paragraphs. So that would be a bit more challenging for those who are trying to level up their reading and writing. But because we'll have 2 weeks in between, each class will be a bit more focused. We'll have some reading practice in class, some presenting to test your reading comprehension, and the classes will be small. Since the sessions will only be about an hour, I'm thinking we'll only have about maybe 5 to 6 people max in the sessions. We'll have 2 sessions so we can accommodate the Pacific and Australia, and also the East Coast and Europe, so you don't have to be up at a crazy time. I won't do that to you. I've been there, done that. I won't do that to you. In between, while you're taking more time for the advanced Tigrinya reading, there are also other nice books by other Habesha authors that we can read in between in English. So some of our Habesha friends and relatives, they're also working on their English, so they can join us for those sessions. So those are your 3 options, just to recap. Right now, you can buy the deck for this verb for practicing. And that link will be on this video. Second, we have one-on-one sessions where there are 4 levels of Tigrinya that you can level up into. You can do that without reading or writing at all. Third, the Tigrinlish Book Club that's going to be starting in October. So it will be a mixture of Tigrinya and English. You need to speak at least basic English to participate. Doesn't have to be perfect. But again, that's going to be limited space. So only 4 to 5 people per section. We'll have 2 options on Thursday evenings. So maybe 4 or 5 in one slot and 4 or 5 in the other slot. So once you see it, grab your spot because it's not going to be there forever. But for those who have joined us for the replay also, I really thank you for the support. Now, Tigrinlish has been around since 2020 officially, and September will be the actual anniversary of our first storybook. We have 5 others planned, and we're already translated into 3 languages, English, German, and Tigrinya. So Swedish, Dutch, and Italian will be added later this year. And next year, we're going to add 10 other languages, including European languages and regional languages like Tigray, Belen, and Afar. If you want to have the whole translation breakdown, the plan, I can put that link here down below because I already have that planned and done. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. As I said, 30 minutes or less. We got this done in 15. So thank you for your time. And for those of you who are going to be watching, enjoy the World Cup final this evening. Our next verb in the series will be to go, and that will be Sunday, August 9th, 2026, again at 20 Berlin time, 2 p.m. New York time. So hopefully you can join us for that, the verb to go. Until then, برك معلتي.